Alrighty, questers, welcome back to another quest. This time we are doing our first Unmasking the Horror tour at Halloween Horror Nights.
We're very excited. We're doing the 3-house tour today, so we're going to take you through 3 different houses: Hatchet and Chains, Dolls, and Brisa Flesh, not in that order. And as you can see, we are currently doing it. So we're going to cut back to a little bit earlier of us getting everything ready, and then you're going to hear us talking intermittently.
Yeah, we're probably going to be very much narration. There's no filming, just pictures, so we hear a lot of us blabbing, but look forward to it. Do want to put a warning of gory images and content throughout this video, so if you are scared of that, maybe not the best one for you.
Please don't.
But if you are, you're going to love it. Alrighty, so we are done with our Unmasking the Horror Behind the Screens 3-house tour. We just got done 20-ish minutes ago. We made it over to Lombard. We are doing Scream early for the 3 houses that we toured today, and another video we're filming, so you'll see us in the same clothes and a later video coming out this season. But I'm going to go over a little bit of the bits and tricks of Behind the Screams and Unmasking the Horror to kind of layer over and let you know about it. So for Behind the Screams, Unmasking the Horror, you're going to pick a 3 or a 6-house tour. We are doing both this season. Today we are starting with the 3-house tour. Our 3 houses are Hatchet and Chains, the Demon Bounty Hunters, Dolls, Let's Play Dead, and then Grave of Flesh. So our 2 sprung tents, and then one of our sound stages up towards the front of the park. When you go to buy them, you will select time on a date, and this is a daytime operation thing. You're not going to be able to do it during HHN, so you will need your own ticket into the Universal Parks for it. They did ask us up front when we checked in if we are going to be staying in the parks later, which we were for Scream Early, so they scanned us in there. If not, you will have to go with your tour guide up to the front of the park to tap in to make sure you're kind of in the park legally. But when you are walking towards the front gates of Universal, where you normally step onto the arch to go to scan your ticket, you're actually going to move to the right. There is a bunch of signs that say Unmasking the Horror Tour starting here. You're going to go in, they're going to ask your name, all that stuff, and take you up to the top waiting room area. They'll have your button and your lanyard, which we're going to get better footage of that stuff, but you are going to get a lanyard for Behind the Screams, Unmasking the Horror. So this is this year's. We're going to have much more upfront footage of it. So they do run multiple times, so you can pick like an earlier day one. I think there's a way where you can schedule it where you do both Unmasking the Horror 3 and 6-house tours in one day.
That might be a lot, though.
Don't quote me on that. That is a lot, and they added a lunch this year, so I don't even think it shakes out that way. But once you are all set up, you'll get an earpiece and a mic pack for your tour guide, so you can listen to them as you go through. Our tour guide was PJ, who's very nice, very informational, funny too. Keep in mind, this is a lights-on tour, so you are going to be taking a lot of photos, no videos. That's why all of our stuff is photos. And please respect the photos up and photos down portions of the houses. A lot of the houses are very photos up friendly, especially the originals. Take photos of whatever you want. We had at least one room in every single house we couldn't take photos in, so that's why you notice some pieces missing and that we didn't have photos of, but overall we got photos of most of the fun bits. I took generous notes. You can see here all the notes that I took. He gave us some information just on basic HHN stuff, which we'll probably go over in our Fun Facts of HHN video we're filming later this season. But we did start with Grave of Flesh towards the front end of the park, and these tours, they're not just how the houses work. There's a lot of story elements in it too. The BTS tour guides get a lot of information that normal people don't get to give to us for these tours, which is what makes them so great to go through. And so Grave of Flesh, a lot of fun details. We got to see the cemetery. He pointed out different things like the rubber floor for when there's water effects that you notice, stuff like that. The giant facade. One of the cooler details he pointed out towards the beginning of the tour was that the grave digger in there that goes, what's out there? He actually can't see us because we are ghosts in this house. We are going to our own funeral, Tom Sawyer style, and going to see what happens after we die. He actually explained a lot about the flesh eaters that are in there. That's what they're technically called. How they are based off of star-nosed moles. They have the same kind of star shape of their nose, and then even their hands, the big meaty claws, are meant to look like those of a mole, which makes sense scientifically, because moles are built like that because they live underground and so they can't see as great in the daylight. And you just go from different rooms. You talked about how the pods are, based off of similar function that they did in Killer Clowns from Outer Space a few years. He even explained a little bit of the grinder. So if you notice the little record turntable thing with like skeletons and stuff in it, that is what they're doing with the bones after they eat the flesh and all of those things. So just fun story details and all of that such. One of the things he did say, which was really cool that I enjoyed, was how much this house cost. The Grave of Flesh house cost $800,000 for them to make. That is 6 figures for one house this year that they didn't even have to pay a licensing fee for. So imagine something like FNAF can get pretty expensive. But he also talked about why there's not a lot of roofs on Halloween Horror Nights houses, because if you put a roof over it, you have to put a fire suppression system in there, because the sound stages and the sprung tents take care of that on their own. So if you put a roof, you gotta add something in there just as a legality safety procedure. So that's really cool, really fun. He talked about, how with most houses, we're already dead, or we die at the end of the house. This one, we're already dead heading into it. Fun details like that. Different misdirections and stuff in there, and houses, mirrors, all of those work. Just a lot of fun details to get. I'm not going to give all of them. I'm not going to post all the pictures, but just a brief little overview of Grave of Flesh for y'all to enjoy. Next, we headed to Dolls Let's Play Dead. It was the first sprung tent we went into. Not a lot was posted there that we didn't kind of already know about or could pick up from just going through houses. So we did get an official name. I'm going to call her Lydia. It's actually Lila is the killer in this house. Not killer yet. That's actually a fun detail he pointed out, was that Lila is a sociopath, but she is also a kid. So a common thing in criminal psychology is you notice sociopaths start out by mutilating dolls, and then they move on to animals before they move on to humans. And they kind of reference this, if you know the rat at the end that scares you with the headless rat body. We didn't get pictures of it. It was a one photos down room. It actually is hinting that she is upgrading from torturing her dolls to torturing animals. So different cool things. There is Jack's bedspread. If you know the icons of HHN, you can see him in there as a little reference to him. You can see the little cat photos and stuff that are her scoping out her next living target. A lot of fun stuff. A lot of references to other things, the BuzzCon batteries. I feel like this is probably our most reference-heavy house of the event. Overall, really great. A couple details in there that, again, we'll go over in a fun facts video later on. It's definitely one of our favorites, so getting to go through and see everything in there, I enjoyed a lot. Our last house was Hatchet and Chains, the Demon Bounty Hunters, which was a room in Slaughter Cinema 2. If you remember that, he kind of gave us the backstory on how Slaughter Cinema became as a whole, which is just that they have so many ideas in a season that some years they think, what if we don't narrow it down to one idea and we narrow it down to 8, put them in one house, and then from there we can see which room is popular and people like, which is how we get Hatchet and Chains. It was here last year in Slaughter Cinema 2 as a room in there. It was our B-movie spaghetti western, and it has now been turned into a full-blown house. And he gave us a lot of the backstory, which is cool because I don't feel like that really comes through in the house. You hear about Granny Haggerty, who summons the Stampede to basically, it's a stampede of demons to board a train and then terrorize the American West. And Hatchet and Chains are there to stop it. You see a couple things like, Hatchet and Chains demon horses. Really cool. He showed off how the demons in the house are UV activated. So you have them where they look normal and then a black light hits them and they're all glowing. He talks about how the demons actually burn themselves out and will decompose rapidly when they're above Earth. And the only ways to stop that is to get metal or to hop into a living host, not just humans. More on that later. Which is why you see the demon with the potbelly oven in his stomach scaring people. And you see him wrapped in chains and stuff. And even the Undertaker, you can see like a little screen that shows him like how the demon climb inside of him, which is why you have the demon with the big gaping maw later on in the house. This one had a few photos down spots in it, more than normal. One of them did have the lizard in there.
A lizard.
Which is unfortunate. He even talked about how one of the rooms, when you basically, you'll see a big sign that says like 5-cent hot bath and stuff like that. When you enter into that room, it's actually the same set from Slaughter Cinema 2, and you're seeing what led to that moment that was in the room, which I think is really cool. They even have the same pictures on the wall and some such like that. There's a little Red Dead Redemption 2 potential reference in there. There is, when you enter the train station, there is a man writing a love letter to one of the call girls outside who has his blue dress torn off. It is now tied against the dude's neck as a token or a memento. Talking about how he's going off to war, and when he comes back, he'll have enough money. And none of this matters because he gets a hatchet to the face, because Hatchet is not good at aim.
And she gets a demon in her body.
Yes. You know.
They both die.
So, but the note is to my dearest Abigail, signed Arthur, which are the names of two of the characters of Red Dead Redemption 2, a Wild West America video game. So I think that's a little fun reference. If it is one, might just be common names overall. And then he also talked about, we didn't get pictures of it, it was in the photos down room, but the giant red, I heard somebody call it Falcor from Neverending Story, but bull head in there is actually one of the demons. Gets tired of hopping a human host, they burn out too quickly, so he hops in a cow, and that's why it's big and glowing and red. Another cool detail they talked about in Hatchet and Chains, I got a lot of them in there, which is why I liked, is ramps. You feel a ramp in a HHN house, it usually means there's a floor effect, so you can see the brimstone where all of them are popping out of hell in the earth, kind of start outside of the cemetery area and then carry all the way through into the schoolhouse. Lastly, I mean, just a couple generic things about Behind the Scream store. It's really great. If you don't know this, every year HHN does a animal in all of the houses. Last year was a toad, and this year, maybe based off of the meme, I don't know, is lizard.
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 Lizard. So in each of the houses, there is a lizard, and the best part about Behind the Screams, in my opinion, is you get to see these animals. You don't really get to notice them while going through the houses.
They're so
small, they're tiny, they blend in. So
there's a picture of two of them.
Yeah, we got pictures of two of them, the one in Dolls and the one in Grave of Flesh. We couldn't get the one in Hatchet and Chains because it's in the photos down. There's a little bearded dragon. After you exit, I think it's like, I can't remember. Basically, you enter the first open air room. You'll see like a vulture and a hanging body. It's on a little barrel.
On the little barrel to your left, there's going to be kind of like an open area, and you can see a coffin. It's going to be on the barrel in front of.
So you get to hear cool things about like LexJet, the little plexiglass stuff that they use in houses, and bus wraps where it like looks clear and then you shine a light through it and you can see a monster bar. You get to hear about trap doors and clap doors and stuff like that. All these different GATs, guest activated triggers, at actor activated triggers and such. Just fun things like that. Even permablood, the stuff they smear on the walls and stuff to make you look bloody, and it is permanent. Our tour guide mentioned that he got a little bit on himself one day doing a house tour. He couldn't get off his skin for 2 weeks. So there's a lot of effort and stuff that goes into these houses that you really get to appreciate when you do an Unmasking the Horror tour. And I think that's it for like fun facts and information and stuff. We might mention more throughout the video, but now we are doing Scream early. We've got done with our tour. Started at 1:15. It was about 3:30 when we got done, and we are actually going to do the houses tonight. We will figure out which one we're doing first. We will record a little bit there, and then afterwards we'll give you our thoughts on what it's like going through the house after A, being there earlier that morning, and B, knowing all the information that you do now. And then we're gonna wrap it up with our thoughts on just Behind the Screams in general. All
right, so we did just get out of our Graves of Flesh run. That was really good. That I definitely think after doing the tour, I have more of an appreciation for the house, and the storyline and like what thought went into it and care went into it. I do think it made me pay attention a little bit more to like things within the house. So that definitely helps and adds an extra layer. So I definitely really enjoyed that run a lot. I will say it does make it a little less scary, like going in there. And that could have honestly just been my run for that house, to be completely honest. So we'll have to see when we do Dolls and Hatchet. But I definitely found myself like seeing more details and being more excited about like, oh my god, I got to see that in the daytime, just so cool. So definitely got to enjoy things a little bit more with that.
For my run through of Crave a Flat, after lights on to now lights off, I noticed a lot of things I don't think I noticed before. Number one, lizard. But like the green tarp above our grave, since it's raining, to basically that's what they do in real life. That's what they did in the house. It's one of the things they talked about. I noticed that as I was walking into the facade that I didn't before. I definitely noticed the shape of the flesh eaters and like the mole-like features of them. Really saw them come through in a way before, and they made more thematic sense because in my head before, I know it's just like, oh, scary creature, go rawr.
Go rawr.
So other than that, wasn't a huge amount that like I feel like shifted perspective wise. Just wasn't able to like really appreciate all the finer details of things and remember to earlier in that day. I also think, I know Ellie said it wasn't as scary. I still think it was almost like, didn't feel like I was there earlier that day and had seen all the lights on. Like it felt I was truly immersed in what was going on with the house, to the point where I was like getting scared by things that I don't think I normally got scared by. Maybe that was my run through and not anything to do with the tour. Coming up though, we do have to go hit Dolls and Hatchet and Chains, so we're gonna we get in line for one of those. We're in line for Hatchet and Chains, really excited. This has been a fan favorite of ours for the entirety of the event, so after doing Unmasking the Horror, I'm really excited to see how our thoughts change on it.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see this, and knowing like some of the things I know now going into the house, I'm even more like pumped and ready.
And I'm excited to see Wellington. You think Wellington's hanging in there?
I think Wellington's hanging in there. We'll say hi to Wellington with you guys in a minute.
We'll say hi to Wellington.
All right. I probably look exhausted just because I am, and I'm sorry. But we did just get out of Hatchet and Chains. I will say nothing's really changed for me on this one. Still great. Still scary. I kind of I knew a lot about this house going into it before Unmasking the Horror and then after, so it doesn't change a lot for me. There wasn't really anything new. I think some of the set pieces were a little bit more like, oh, that makes more sense. But there wasn't much of a change for me there. Still a great house. I get scared in it every time we go, so very happy with that.
Yeah, really fun. I enjoyed it a lot. I agree with Ellie. I don't really think my perception of Hatchet and Chains changed that much.
But
I kind of hatcheted that one. Anyways, I don't think it really changed after doing Unmasking the Horror, but that's kind of the hard part about Hatchet and Chains. It was a room in Slaughter Cinema, so we already knew a lot about it. And then it was a house that we already knew a lot about before it even got announced. So overall, I don't think your perception of it's going to change. I do have an appreciation for the house and all the different scares and stuff. And of course, Lizard. So I really enjoyed it. I think probably it's not the best house for an Unmasking the Horror tour, but also all the originals get thrown in. It was kind of the ones I took the least amount of notes in, I think. I took a lot, I think, was that to do with Thunder the Pomeranian being in there and some of the team members who managed to get their photos taken in there. Plus, I love the Red Dead Redemption. I said hi to Abigail and Arthur as I went through. And of course, our number one main man, Wellington. But we do have to wrap up with Dolls, so we're going to be heading to that one next. And we'll give you our thoughts on Dolls after doing Unmasking the Horror and just our thoughts in general. So, see you guys after that.
Okay, so we finished up Dolls. This is actually kind of way past that, but did finish up Dolls. Really good, really fun. I think the tour definitely helped kind of understand the story with Lila a little bit more than you would if you hadn't gone through it. I think there are some small things that you kind of notice when you go through it a second time. after you've already done the tour. I definitely think the tour is worth it just for when you go through them again afterwards. You pick up on a lot more, which I really enjoy. I think that makes it really worth it on its own. So I think it's a lot of fun.
Ready?
You've been ready.
Okay. So I think doing dolls was a lot of fun. I didn't notice any more details than I feel like I normally did. A lot of this house I picked up pretty clearly the first few times we ran through, but this time I think I really focused in on the story of Lila and like her descent into her sociopathic tendencies that we talked about during the tour. So seeing how her messing with the dolls goes from more like kind of sort of normal child behavior to straight up sociopathic, and then finally her starting to experiment on those animals. A lot of good scares in them, and just overall I feel like a really good and rewarding experience doing the tour during the day and then doing the houses at night. Just makes it so much fun and gives me so much to look forward to going into that house again and again and again. And I love having pictures of everything, like my creepy spider dude. But overall, please let us know your favorite fun fact that we shared in this video down in the comments, or any fun facts you have about HHN in general might get featured in our fun facts video later on in the season.
Hint.
Yep. But until then, guys, please make sure to follow us on all of our social media pages. We are everywhere at Park Questers. We also have a Patreon set up if you would like to support us in that way. We have Get Readies with Ellie, behind the scenes content, and more. Also as well, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe on this video to help push engagement and get us out more to the theme park community and just show people more of what they love. But until then, guys, we'll see you on next quest. Bye.